Good to see the panel today. I'm Hema Vaidyanathan, and I'm the founder CEO of KlapKlap. KlapKlap is a contest-first approach to talent discovery, and we are trying to bring together talent discovery, talent monetization, as well as audience engagement on a single platform. I'm just going to, so I'll go into a little more detail about what that means. Vijay, it's okay if I walk through a deck here, right?
Yeah, please. So that the rules of the game is like we will have like 7 minutes. So 5 minutes you will have to pitch and 2 minutes for the Q&A from the panel and the audience as well. That's all.
Yeah,
please start.
I'm just going to share my screen. Sorry about that. Are you able to see my screen? I think screen sharing has been
rights would have to be given.
Let me enable that for you, Hema.
One moment. Thank you.
You should be able to do that now.
Awesome. Yeah, this works. Okay, you're able to see this now?
Yes, we're all able to view the screen. Please go ahead.
Okay, great. So basically, KlapKlap is a talent discovery platform. What the problem that we wanted to solve was that today, if you want to be noticed in terms of whether you're a dancer, you're a musician, whether you're a painter, or a coder, or anything at all, especially for a teenage or a young adult age group, accessibility is very hard. The market is fragmented. The discoverability is tough, whether it's online or offline, and monetization is very, very patchy and it's a slog. So what we're trying to do is to take away the barriers of time, effort, and distance and bring all of this together on a single platform. So what we're doing, the way we're trying to do that is to use contests as an engagement strategy. As an engagement strategy to bring together all of these things, democratizing the contest format and using social networks as a virality piece, it really multiplies the audience by orders of magnitude. The size of the market is pretty huge as well, at almost a 5 billion market just in India and the US alone, where the spends are up to 4 billion a year in India and 1 billion plus a year in the US. We are looking at a 500 million size of the market, where for the 13 to 24-year demographic that we are targeting. And we are looking at, say, a 10% of that as part of the operable market that we want to look at. Sorry, 1 second. Something is up. Sorry, I don't know why this is. Okay, so what is our solution? Our solution is that we've created a contest-first framework for the talent showcasing, and we aim to be the go-to online mobile space for all contests. We have an MVP that is currently on the Play Store in beta, which we are providing as invite only for contestants who are participating in our contest that we hold currently. And the iOS app is expected to come out sometime this month. What you can do on the app today is to compete. You can pick categories, you can upload videos, you can invite friends to vote, you can upload your videos, you can pick the gallery and you can see who's come first, you can see your ranking in real time. You can upload your own video or images from your gallery or from your phone, whatever it needs to be done, and simply pick your contest and submit it for the competition. You can also explore other stuff based on your interest areas and all of that. We use claps as a sign of approval or interest, and you can share the links with all your friends and on different platforms as well. What is coming on this, which isn't here right now, is a judges platform where we have a database of judges who will be able to access the entries and provide feedback and comments and score for each contest. And we will be integrating all of this together. So where do our users come from? Our users currently come from other social media platforms where it is a very sort of fragmented approach currently. We try and source targeted influencers and creators and bring them onto our platform to participate in contests. We also are looking at schools and institutes and colleges which have catchment populations of the people we are looking at. And we have approached corporates in this post-COVID world with large young populations of, entry-level employees as an engagement platform to use this as a tool. But that's just in its initial stages. But these are the places where we find our people. What they come for are the contests, the prizes, the content, and to discover new audiences and develop a unique ecosystem. So, so how do we plan to make money? We plan to make money in 3 different ways. We are running paid contests. So you pay as you go. You can do, sort of pack of contests. We also have promoted posts inside the app. You can also pay to canvas for votes. You can pay for priority visibility, in-app purchases, and of course, other promotions through advertising, influencer-driven marketing, and sponsorship for prizes. So where do we stand? Why are we slightly different? It's because there's a large, of course, we have the big behemoths of social media all sitting out there, where currently a lot of the contests are being conducted. But anyone who's run a contest on these platforms will know that it's a pain. You really, it's like a jugaad of, some 3 or 4 different processes that you have to put together. And then by the time you find all of this, it's a mess. So we think we've found a little bit of space here, which is currently unoccupied between all the social media stuff and the content aggregation. We've found a place and the offline contest platforms like the X Got Talent or the X Factor or whatever it is, right? Those are the analog TV formats. We feel like this is a slightly different space and a slightly different way, that we can make it easier for creators to make stuff and sell stuff and be recognized for what they do. So what have we done so far? We've run over 15 contests right now. Our contests are viral, they are sticky. From food photography to art to music, we've got all of it going. We've seen 25% retention of so repeat contestants in our contests. We've got 10% cross-contest participation in these contests. We've got a great 1 to 1,000 ratio of participants when we've run this on Instagram and then taken it onto our platform. On the platform itself, we released the app in late June. We've had over 3,500 participants in just 2 months that we have run the beta mode of this app. Really low to zero customer cost acquisitions, and with high lifetime engagement, we think that this is something that we can keep repeating quite successfully.
So your last minute.
Yeah. So we've done, so like I said, 10 contests, 10 plus 15 actually at this point, 10 plus contests, 350 downloads, over 300 entries, 20,000 participants. That includes audience and, judges, all of that, the whole sort of ecosystem. And we've got users who, sort of enjoy what we're doing. I'm just going to spend 10 seconds to sort of explain this. I'm going to sacrifice that. So
we can't really hear.
Oh, okay. So basically, this was a 13-year-old contestant in our art contest, and she was, so 13 to 17 is kind of our highly targeted age group, and we're finding that they're enjoying what they're seeing and doing. I'll be happy to share this later with you. We've also built influencers, kids, who've got a decent enough following. We've helped them build it up. Give them chances to develop their own workshops and become influencers in their own right. So what are we trying to accomplish? We are now headed to hosting our first paid contests in art, music, and dance, because those have been our most popular categories. We are releasing our iOS app this month. We have a goal of reaching about 10,000 users in 6 months on this platform. We are aiming to raise anywhere between $100,000 to $500,000 in terms of funding in the next few months to help us to scale. And hopefully in a year or so, we'll be at 100,000 users and with a decent amount of revenue coming through at 100. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. There is some more data here if you want to look at it through the pitch deck. But basically what we are doing is we feel like we are not reinventing, but at least reimagining what the contest experience can be. And especially for this age group that is underserved and under noticed. And we think that in this post-COVID world where event management becomes a much more challenging task, the ability to hold cheap, fast, quick contests with people sourced from around the world is truly a game-changing opportunity. And so that's where we're at.
Do you have a team slide?
I thought I had.
No,
I do have.
not here.
Okay,
Do you want to talk about what's your team like?
Yes, I will just spend a couple of minutes, a few seconds on that. The team is, so I'm a solo founder currently, but it doesn't feel like that because I've had a founding member from the very beginning who has developed the app. So she is the tech lead on this. She has developed, she's basically an electronics engineer by training, but has been building apps for a while now. She's joined by another young coder. So we've been working as a team now for the past 4 months. I also have a young dynamic marketing team and social media team. I have consciously tried to stick with young people, trying to work with young people because of the demographic that I work with, that I'm targeting, where really the focus is on a certain voice and a certain approach, which is very important. And so our team is fairly, I think, all young. So we are a team of 6 now. I think I will be joined next week with an events manager who's joining us, who was there with Book My Show for a while, and a couple of more developers to help us up the engagement.
Hema, sorry, don't recognize you. So maybe a bit of a background. Maybe I'm not as well informed.
No.
I'm not able to recognize you. You must be.
I'm sorry. I've been introducing everyone else except myself. I am a PhD in cell biology and neuroscience from Rutgers University in New Jersey, followed by a degree, by a postdoc stint in stem cell biology in University of California. Since then, though, my career path has been kind of twisted. I've been a publisher of children's picture books based on Indian mythology, which was my first try at entrepreneurship in 2009. It was called Amma's Tales. We sold over 20,000 copies of 6 titles, and the company just wound up I think last year, because we just weren't able to crack the retail sales model for books. The other thing, so I've also spent about a decade since then in EdTech on my return to India in 2010, 2011. I've worked with early stage startups and sort of seriously funded startups, all 3 in the EdTech space, from early learning, which was in Imaginators, where I built a language app for children, to my most recent stint with Imbibe as a director of their content and media push for K-12, middle school and high school. So that was, I quit in October last year, and I've been working on KlapKlap full-time since January this past year.
So what made you get into start KlapKlap?
So I clearly enjoy the startup ecosystem because I went from one startup to another startup to another. Imbibe was essentially a startup still at the point where I joined. Um, and what it is that I think I really like being there at the leading edge to, sort of see the change that I am effecting. And I've loved to see how, I think for me, coming from a non-tech background into tech, it was really exciting and continues to excite me to see how young people learn. And I'm very careful in the word I use, which is learn, because I'm not talking about education, which is where EdTech currently is. But learning is kind of very different. And I don't think that we have cracked it yet because most of the edtech solutions currently are aimed at moving the classroom experience online in some format or the other for various reasons. I've been part of the same sort of solution. But what I do feel strongly is that that is not the answer. And especially for middle schoolers and high schoolers and possibly early college, they are not there. That's not how they learn. They learn through their community almost entirely with the advent of social media and with the advent of all these tools with which they are able to speak. Their sense of discovery and their sense of learning and initiative is driven by something else entirely, and it cannot be replaced by the test taking mechanism that is currently a majority of edtech. The issue, though, is that they are not necessarily willing to pay for this, which is what we found when we were working with imaginators in early learning. But it is essential, and I strongly believe in social community learning, which is where KlapKlap started off first. That we would use this to see how people learn, and we pivoted a little bit differently based on what we heard from our users. But yeah, I continue to think that at the end of it, the vision of KlapKlap for me is somewhere where people come to learn at a level of excellence benchmarked by a community of peers around them. So that's where we want to be.
So what you say sounds more like a learning platform. And then I think you call it a contest first. Social
Yes.
network driven talent discovery showcase for creators and fans. So you want to engage creators, you want creators to do fan engagement here, you
Yes.
want people to connect based on their personal interests, and you
Yeah.
want uh, perhaps brands to do some contests as well.
So we have, like I said, we first thought of this as a learning, community learning platform, but we've moved away from that because
It
the
could have been
learning
a page on
happens
Facebook, right? Why you spend so much on creating a app?
because so what I was trying to say is that we moved away from that because the learning part of it is separate and it's like
No,
a
even the contest
universe
for
of
that
its own.
matter, right? You could
But
run.
even contests, so currently we run our contests on a mix of Instagram, Facebook, and KlapKlap. And I would have to say that
On Facebook itself. Why app so early?
I'm trying to tell you why. Because on KlapKlap and on Instagram, I'm sorry, on Facebook and on Instagram, it's almost impossible to do this without manual intervention. You have to first find you'll have to put the posts over there. You have to get people on board. You have to follow up. You have to get the judges to do it separately. The judges will write it on a piece of paper. Then they'll give it to you. Then you collate it. Then you count the number of likes. Then somebody will come and say, no, 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 you didn't count the likes properly. The comments haven't been counted properly. What is a comment? This person has fake likes. This person has fake this. It's actually a bunch of jugaad processes that are used currently to run this. Secondly, it is not, these social media platforms were not developed for contests. They were developed as social media platforms. They are being used to run contests because you have a catchment audience. But what we are saying is slightly different. We are saying that we are a contest first platform. We are here to provide a rubric driven, a contest framework with unique frameworks for each contest on a single platform where judges have visibility where a contestant has visibility. And hey, by the way, your social networks are also here. So it's sort of a reverse flip on it. And we don't feel like this is easily solved for in any of these current platforms. And, honestly, I think TikTok is probably the best one out there right now, though we don't have access to TikTok anymore. TikTok is probably there, but even on TikTok, it's almost impossible to be contest first on that platform. So that's essentially that's why we did explore the idea of starting small with existing frameworks, and it doesn't work for us. So
Well, what's
that's why
the
we're here.
first slide data you claim? What is the source for that? 4 billion spent in India for talent hunt and 1 billion. What exactly is it? Is it for talent hunt or is it for contest driven?
So we took an average amount spent per year at $10 per person, and possibly and for India we reduced that number even more. We took census data for the age groups that we were targeting at, and we averaged it out to about one contest a year that one person will participate in, and it's a big number still. Because I mean, the assumption is that a person is not going to keep on participating, right? I mean, there is some level of fatigue that sets in. You might participate in maybe 3 contests in a year at the most. So this
is a individual spend you are talking about. Is it?
We've done individual spend, yes.
Participating in contests.
Yeah, yeah.
And in US, individuals spend about $1 billion per year.
Yeah, because the number of users are fewer. So yeah.
I don't know. Okay, that's interesting. And you also mentioned about number of downloads, 300.
Currently, we have about 450 actually. This is a slightly old slide. I should have updated it for this. We are at 450 downloads right now. But these are all invite-only downloads. So what we do is...
download is for Android app? You're referring
only for the Android app, yes. Because we have a web app for the iOS users. Because we're running it, we've run open contests right now, and we've moved only finalists onto our platform during the beta runs. And
you also said you have a paid customer.
No. I said we are going to be launching our first paid contest this month. So we are currently setting that up for the end of the month.
So paid contest, when you say, is it somebody is doing their contest on your platform, or you yourself are creating a contest, but you're going to charge the participants?
So both. The first one is in talks. I'm speaking to a school to run their intra-school competitions currently. But to see we've developed a feature for them where they will be able to have closed communities and run it for them. But we are launching our own contests for music, dance, and art specifically.
You also mentioned that you are okay for sports and arts as well. So how do you think sports will feature here?
So sports and STEM topics are the ones that are sort of closest to my heart to see how we can crack it, because of actually 2 big reasons. One is in terms of creators to get guys to come on board. Teenage boys.
No, but how do you propose to get them? I mean, it's all.
Yeah. So we've been working with people who have sort of run contests. There are 2 major interests for them. One is to do sort of sport team-based, not little challenges that starts helping them build a community, sort of Dream 11-ish, but not quite, in a sort of smaller way. Build your best, throw little challenges in terms of sports. Do smaller sport contests, which will allow you to do things like send in your video of a great football, sort of trick shots or things like that. The third category that we are thinking about is to do small sports-driven quizzes, which are very popular as well. So
content each user uploads onto your platform?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the first part of what you
average size of content that gets uploaded here?
So currently we are trying to limit the size of the videos because the videos are the biggest one. We have images, of course, which are very small, 1 to 2 MBs, whatever it is, we are able to handle it. But when it comes to videos, we are trying to keep the video size under 50 MB so that the platform doesn't get slowed down too much.
So how many videos?
So far we have about, I would say around 200 to 250 videos is what's been uploaded on the platform at last count. I haven't checked it today, but I will after this.
So how have you planned your hosting costs? What is where is it located?
Currently, so we were managing with DigitalOcean initially because it allowed us to do it, sort of in steps as we got bigger. But we ran into a small problem there where their content delivery network is not based in Bangalore. So it was slowing us down. We have recently moved to AWS with credits of, I'm part of the Y Combinator startup school, as Vijay probably knows.
That will run out very fast. That will run out very fast.
Yes, so very
expensive as well.
A lot of the funding that we're trying to raise is for this. So yeah.
Maybe you should look at other things. Yeah, I think Saroj has some questions.
Yeah, you are now looking when you are looking for especially the whole idea of presentation is you are looking for the funding. So if you're looking for the fund, the investor will like to see 2-3 things, which I feel that is missing, because you have a very good experience, and you come with a lot of ideas and very good at communication, and you put forward a lot of slides, no doubt on this. But now it's mostly what we see is the idea in your mind, and what you find there is a vacuum in the market when you have come out with a presentation on that. But you said that your the apps development and all the technological part of it is you are doing it through new hires, few people.
Yes.
Okay. Then how do you provide the security for the whole development, or keeping that or taking it forward? Because are you yourself can develop an app? Are you yourself a coder?
No. So so this has been brought up quite often because by training, I'm not a technical co-founder. But what I've done so far is to have technical advisors who have been helping me through the building of the app, right from, what's needed for how to develop it, what is the best way to go about it, what are things that I should keep in mind, security especially, and data privacy, which is like a big thing going forward. So yes, your question is very fair, sir, but what we've tried to do is try to ensure that we know where our gaps are and get the best kind of advice and mentorship to help us understand how to fix those gaps. And so far we have been managing, but I have been on the lookout for either a CTO or a co-founder who'd be willing to, sort of join this journey. And part of my reach to incubators and, sort of places like NSR Cell is to see if I can build networks to help me identify more people who can sort of support me through this journey.
I think,
on the other hand, while the team seems young, they have been fairly ambitious and very sort of forward-facing in developing the app itself. And I think that with the support of the senior people who have been helping us, we've managed to sidestep a lot of issues. I'm not saying we're perfect, but I'm just saying that, that the team is cognizant of gaps that may be there, and that we are trying to work with it, around it, over it, fix it, whatever is needed for it.
In the reality, see, when we're raising the question, you understand very well because you have a large experience and you come out with a solution because you have the experience. But the question is, what is the ring fence you have? It's see, when you seriously look for an investor, he will like to see what is the kind of golden handcuff or what kind of ring fencing you have done to the problems. What you are saying is, I know the problems and temporarily I have few solutions and I trust them. That is not ring fencing.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
ring fencing is that you don't have to explain so much to get my trust or an investor's trust.
Okay.
Your system should give the trust. What has been done? Suppose you say that you have a co-founder who is the CTA, who is the CTO. He is also in line with my passion, and I have given him 40% share. That means ring fencing.
Okay.
So those are the things you need to address because you have a good idea, no doubt on that. But you are coming out with solutions. Whatever the problems we are posing at you, you are able to find a way to answer that. That in long term, that is not be sustainable.
Fair enough. I mean, this is a question that is hard to answer because other than founding team members, I really don't have an answer for this because
No, you can have
I would
everything.
say
You can tell me that I have certain advisors who have invested in here. I can go with it.
that is there. That is true. That is
It can
the
be not
case.
necessarily a co-founder, but
Yeah.
yes, there's a technical help what you have taken. They have been ring fenced.
Okay, so so
Say
that's
that you
fair
have
enough.
given
So
them-
that's what I meant by I do have advisors. They are investors in the company. So I do have product as well as technical advisors who have invested in the company. I've raised 40 lakhs so far from friends and family and investors. I mean, colleagues who've worked with me before, especially tech people, because I've reached out to them for a lot of advice and they
You can
find
show a slide. You can slow a slide. This is the people are the technical advisors, and they have been in the shareholding. They have invested. So something like that. So it gives us a faith on that.
Yes, I will fix that. Thank you.
And if the investors are not your family members, that's another thing to highlight. That
Okay.
means you've got confidence of some third party who like this idea and who also have faith in you that you will take it to some potential conclusion. So that is a very important aspect. It is not important that they have just put 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs. But point is somebody who's not in your first circle of family is somebody who's actually put in money, apart from also giving you advice, like you said that they are advising you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, Hema, this is interesting concept. Maybe you can reach out to me separately. You need some connect. I know from media and entertainment industry, somebody similarly working on the platform, but the focus is a little different. I think he's mostly focusing on a very well established, area of musicians and different kind of talents coming together. I have one question. What I feel, I'm just trying to see what's the USP here. I'll give you an example. I recently read a couple of weeks back, the Bumble app, they are going on IPO for, I think, 6 to 8 billion or something is being evaluated. So the USP about that is because it is a dating app, women actually makes a decision. Plus, of course, there's also, it's just not about dating. It also has a professional connect network and all those. So the USP is so clear that women has a first right of choice. So you just kind of, you don't need to talk much at all in the whole journey and the whole course of whole technology, the way it is being built. I'm just trying to notice what's the USP and key thing here.
I would say the key thing over here is that we really will be once our judges piece is also there, right? It is going to be the only platform that allows you to do that. There is no other platform currently that I know of that I have seen that allows you to bring that layer of excellence on top of the social network piece. The social network piece is something that's been done, but along with the accessibility for judges and it being so tightly focused on that contest piece, I think that is a fairly strong USP for us. I know that there is one company that is trying to bring together college events or something like that. And there is so there are people who occupy different places in these niches, but I think this will be the first one where you'll be able to ensure that that layer of excellence is also incorporated into an app and is so readily accessible. All of those metrics are readily accessible in one place.
Focus much on being first. That's not important.
You have to.
No, sorry. I mean, on first, I mean, as in, I don't see it anywhere else done so easily. So, which is what we wanted to see. Is there some way? So, what is the value in currently when you see these social media networks, right? A lot of the issue is that everyone thinks that they can sing and everyone thinks that they can dance till they're faced with reality, which in reality there is a certain benchmark that you have to achieve. And having this judges, having an excellence benchmark built in to this, I think allows people to know that if there is a winner in a clap contest in music, they are at a certain level that that they can make records, or they can be bubbled up to the top of the talent pool easily. And so I think that's something unique.
What I'm looking at, in the interest of time, I think we'll have to move. I'm just looking at if, I don't know if you want to phrase it somewhere, put your USP in a one-line word which catches attention.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I think we should cut short. I think we have like another 3 startups. Like it was a lengthy conversation. I think Anand, if you want to have any quick feedback.
No, just one small point. There's a company recently, recently as in pre-COVID, right? I was visiting Tech Mahindra, right? And they actually had something called Judgify, which they were using. It's apparently a contest management system which they were using, right? So how different are you from that? And they have actually large numbers of customers in this space as well. So I'm trying to, again, go back to that same question, right? Are you playing in a different segment, or are you providing something else which is different from them? Just curious on that.
So, I would have to say that I've not looked very, very carefully at Judgify entirely.
Okay.
It is basically, from what I remember, I think I looked at it a while ago. But what we are also focused on very tightly is our target demographic, which kind of makes us slightly different.
That's what I was thinking.
Since we're looking at only like the early teens, early to late teens, right? So that is a market which is underrepresented overall. Once you start to see influencers, they start to come up from
there were quite a few attempts towards this. They were, in fact, web-based itself. I remember, I'm not getting the name. In fact, a Bangalore-based company raised big money, and I think Jackie Shroff or somebody was also a director in that. He had put in his personal money. Somebody from Bollywood was there. So
I think so the problem is that it's a difficult space to crack, because teenagers are.
No, the biggest thing that killed that business, I met them. In fact, they had their office on Richmond Road. Something star was that. I'm just not getting it. Maybe I'll get it later. The biggest problem was that they were not able to raise the money, and the cost of hosting, maintaining
the
their
event,
that killed that business.
Yeah. So
in fact, it was just not able to manage, and they even managed to get some politician to put some money, and eventually he. Because the politician's money was too big, then it became his company, and they moved it to his office. So eventually, I think I don't remember what happened, but it is not active.
So I think that it's a lot of the execution, and so in terms of, I'll just answer Judgify a little bit. I think our uniqueness is that we're very, very tightly focused on a very core demographic of teens, early to late teens specifically, we are looking at an across the board talent framework, which is addressed in one platform. And in terms of customer cost acquisition, what I was trying to say is that our event management costs are
Hey,
really low. And I will stop, Vijay. I will stop.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just wanted to, sort of put a full stop.
No,
but,
I think that's good. One more question, Vijay, if you don't mind, because I'm trying to understand this. Well, what is the ticket size? How much money you actually make from an event? Just curious, because we didn't get a feel for that at all.
Yeah, you have. That's because our very first contests, paid contests, are going to come up. We've been running very small contests to see if we can even run a contest and how to run a contest. We've run 15 of those on Instagram and all of those. We've been charging 10 rupees and 20 rupees entrance fees for these small contests. Our first big ones are going to be at 250 rupees for schools, where we are going now and trying to get people to join in, with prize monies of 5,000 to 10,000 rupees for each vertical. So we are hoping that
I'm sorry to chip in here, but I think we should move on to the next participant. We should give them equal time as well.
Yes.
So I have a small suggestion to anyone who has any queries. Why don't we continue this on the chat? Right? So that way the queries are also answered and we are able to give an opportunity for the next presenter as well. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Before winding up, I want to add one more point. Like a friend of mine who has a startup with similar name Clap, but that's CLAP.
Vijay, that can go into the chat.
Oh, just a minute. Like, so it's almost in the similar space. That's all I want to say. Maybe we can
put it in the chat. She can take note.
All right. So maybe next Siddharth can go, right? Siddharth.
Sure. I'll enable that. He can share. I'm not able to see. Yeah, I'm able to see Siddharth.